I started by writing up the story and what I would need for the game, like what models I would need, sound effects, music, etc. Originally, the game was going to be in 2D. It was going to be a fairly small game, and I wanted to do vector art for it. I had never done this before and had been doing a lot more 3D art recently, so I decided to take that route instead. The story changed a lot. At first, the story was going to be about some kid who was walking around the forest with a walkie talkie. Eventually, he would pick up a signal that would be another kid. You would talk about different things like video games and music, but at the end, you would find their body. I still think it's a good idea, but I couldn't really think of a good name for the game that wasn't similar to what inspired it, Night in the Woods. After writing up the story, I looked at reference images of RVs in Midwest America. I could never find the image again to give it credit, but I chose a color palette on low spec and drew that picture in Krita. It turned out pretty well, and I ended up using the backdrop as a header image on my itch.io page. Then I started modeling. I began with a basic ground model and found a cool dither shader to apply. I made a simple FPS controller and then continued to model the rest of the assets. The longest asset to work on was probably the ground, but the RV took me a solid 10 to 12 hours. Once I got done with a couple of trees, I searched for add-ons in Godot for scattering assets. Trees are fairly easy to make in Blender with their sapling tree generator plugin, which comes in it by default. You just have to enable it. Sam Shanley reached out to me on Reddit and did the music for the game. It was really important to me that the music was a big focus, so I wanted something special. I think Sam did a wonderful job, and it fits the game perfectly. I recorded voices with a friend of mine just for fun, but also to save some money. We aren't professional voice actors or anything, but I think it turned out pretty good. I found some videos on how to apply walkie-talkie like voice effects in Audacity, and then I added some radio sounds and static I got from freesound.org. I really focused on visuals early in development, so I could get an early teaser trailer up. I knew that it wouldn't take too long to develop the rest of the game, but I still gave myself an extra month just in case of any problems. I hooked up some cameras and paths in the game that, when enabled, can load custom dialogue. Then I just recorded that, and my teaser trailer was done. I then announced the game and emailed a few smaller game news sites. I did receive some emails from PR companies, but I just didn't have the money. Also, I originally wanted to translate the game to many different languages, but it was just way too expensive. I was able to translate most of the interface and store descriptions to German, Chinese, and Russian. However, because I added some larger text in the game after the translations, I couldn't mark the game as translated on Steam. When I announced the game, I think I expected a little bit more than what I got. I received a modest 80 to 100 upvotes on Reddit, some nice comments, and around 15 wishlists. As of the time that I'm recording this, the wishlist count is around 80, not that much. I'm still hopeful for when the game releases, but even if it doesn't do well, that's okay. I've learned a lot. After announcement, I really started working hard in the game. I added a few more extra stories to the game, which meant some more models and systems in the code. I put the rest of the dialogue in and added more sound effects. I scripted the final cutscene and then set up all of my game options. I did feel some pressure to finish the game, but it wasn't stressing me out or anything. I ended up finishing the game a month and a half before release. I got my launch trailer done early and updated the screenshots. Now I have time to think about my next game, along with making sure the launch goes smoothly. If you want to check out the game, you can find it on Steam and itch.io. You can also go to the website to sign up for a one-time launch email when the game releases on July 22nd, 2021. This game is also open source, but the assets are proprietary. All of these links will be in the description. Thank you.